Hey YouTubers, this topic today will be about, it'll be a little controversial. It's about these two psychotropic drugs. One is called ayahuasca, that's primarily used in Peru and South America, and the other drug is called ibogaine or Iboga, and this drug is used in the country of Gabon, which is in West Africa. I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube regarding the use of these psychotropics, and upon watching these different films, it I had a lot of questions. It opened up questions in my mind. I just want to share with you guys. So, like the first one, well, what this drug does, um, like the ayahuasca. They use two plants to make this drug. One drug has the active ingredient, and then the other plant activates that other plant so it could, do what it does. Okay, and the ibogaine also comes from a plant. The bark or the wood is scraped and then it's ingested. And again, like the ayahuasca, that taken in the drug, it causes a purging, and then there's the visuals and audios that you may have upon taking it. Both of these drugs in the two locations is used in religious ceremonies. Um, One of the drugs, the ibogaine, is actually used to free people from certain addictions like cocaine, marijuana, alcohol addictions, just on one treatment. So it does have some medicinal uses. Um, so these drugs, started making me think. You have people who take it and they report what they've seen. And these people have never heard of other people who've taken it and what they've seen. But when they compare certain stories, it seems like people are seeing the same thing. So it had me think, is what they're seeing just as if they just pure visions, things that are not real? Or are these drugs opening up a portal, a parallel universe that is real? And if this parallel universe is real, why is it this parallel universe there and why are we here? And how did these two different groups find out about these drugs and how it permitted them to see you know, these visions? Okay, so it's very interesting that both people have been using these drugs for centuries, and it doesn't have any um, lingering side effects. They take it and they go through what they go through for the day, and then that's it. So it really had me, you know, ask questions. Other questions that I had, let's see, yeah, you had Harvard School. Harvard, we had a Harvard professor who was studying the effects of these drugs. He asked himself the same question: Is what is being seen real, and why they're seeing it? So he wanted to investigate what was going on. And the other professors at Harvard Law School tried to get him fired, and that provoked even more questions in me. Why would a well-known school like that not want to know what is going on? I'm sure they study about many chemicals and why they have certain effects over one, and how to even reproduce certain effects, you know. But they didn't want him to do that. So it just made me feel like, question, why would someone do that? Why would, you know, they want to squash this information, you know? Um, It also asks me, you know, I ask other questions. Both these two groups in Africa and South America. The group in South America are referred to as shamans versus the group in Gabon, West Africa, and they're usually referred to as witch doctors. The term witch doctor in the United States has a very negative connotation, while shaman has doesn't have as the same type of connotation. And the word shaman is not even a Spanish word, or it's not even a word that comes from South America, but a term that is referred to groups in Asia that have certain religious practices. So I was wondering, why is the group in South America viewed what they're doing in a spiritual enlightenment, feeling, while in West Africa it's viewed as something suspicious and something bad. So this led me to think of something else, the politics regarding different religious practices, and what this, is what's going on actually a war for information, a war on what's on the other side. If it is a parallel universe, it's I it's been said that people of Africa are very spiritually minded, and that Europeans do not like this fact, and so this might um, explain part of their biasness towards certain religious practices in Africa. And the different films that I saw regarding the different drug use, he talked about, again, you have two different worlds. You have the world here on earth, and then the spiritual world, and that the people in this world are able to tap into the other world. It also said in some of the films that the other world, that people had lived in this other world, that they have family on the other side, and that they're able to come back and forth through these rituals, and they're able to take information from that other part of the world and bring it here back to Earth. And it sounds very wild, this story, but it just had me think, if this is true, or even if they believe it's true, the fact that someone believes it and someone might be afraid if that is if that is actually happening, and maybe that's why certain drugs are being banned, and it's drugs that are psychotropic that are banned. Yet things like alcohol, cigarettes are not banned, even though so many people die every year from it. But you don't have people dying from ibogaine or ayahuasca. I mean, very few people have died on ayahuasca, but in general, it's used properly, and in the context that these people are using it in the religious ceremonies, it has shown to be beneficial. So, is what's going on in today's world a world where it's a war on the spirit? If it is true that people are able to go into this other realm, gather this information, and then bring it here, and so maybe that's why, in amongst Europeans, why they want to stop blacks from having access into the spirit realm, because they might be able to gather information and use against them. I mean, it's all speculative. This type of questioning, and belief, but you start to really wonder what is going on. And I think it's very provocative if it is actually, a war on information. And the one who gets, as they say, knowledge is power. And if one group can get more knowledge over another group and then use it to their advantage, this is something really interesting. And my last question that watching these films had me think was about Moses, the character in the Old Testament in the book of Genesis. It is said that Moses had climbed to a mountain, a big mountain, and that he conversed with God, and that he saw visions of what the tabernacles to look like, and that God gave him very specific instructions how it's to be constructed, and Moses wrote down the information. And so I thought this was very interesting. So I asked myself, did he take any similar type of drug? Um, you have people in that part of the world. They have things like these mushrooms, and I'm wondering whether or not if he had taken anything and that permitted him to see certain things. So it was just a question that I had, and again, it'd be very provocative if that was the case, and that he's able to save people through the use of these chemicals and being able to communicate with God and the empowerment that he had. So it'd be really something if people today want to take these same type of drugs for power to, you know, to for their benefit. I know these are very wild topics and it's very unusual, but these are thoughts that these videos had made me think about, and so just wanted to share it with you guys. And I welcome your questions or comments. So take care.